The most powerful angels in heaven, serving God, are often referred to as archangels or seraphim. They play crucial roles in fulfilling the divine will and are prominent figures in Christian theology. Here are some of the most powerful angels. Before we begin, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel and like this video. We count on your generosity and support so that we can continue bringing amazing content to you. Angels are incredible creatures, endowed with power and wisdom, serving as messengers and defenders of the faith. Their presence and actions reflect the majesty and holiness of God, inspiring believers to live in obedience and worship. Angels not only protect and guide but also proclaim divine truth, strengthening believers' faith and helping to spread the gospel. Let's start with Michael. Holding the position of archangel, Michael is the defender of God's people and the commander of the heavenly armies. Some characteristics of this angel are: powerful warrior. Michael is often depicted as a strong and valiant warrior, wielding a sword and combating evil forces. Protector. He is seen as the protector of God's people, defending them against the attacks of the evil one. Leader of the heavenly armies. Michael is the commander of God's angelic armies, leading them in battles against evil forces. He appears in Daniel 10 verses 13 and 21, where Michael is mentioned as one of the chief princes who came to help the angel Gabriel in his struggle against the princes of Persia. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, but Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left there with the kings of Persia. Also in Daniel 12 verse 1, Michael is described as the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people during a time of trouble. At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one who is found written in the book. In Jude 1 verse 9, Michael disputes with the devil over the body of Moses. Yet Michael the archangel, in contending with the devil, when he disputed about the body of Moses, dared not bring against him a reviling accusation, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." In Revelation 12 verses 7 to 9, Michael leads God's angels in the battle against the dragon, Satan, and his angels. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. The second angel, Gabriel. The archangel Gabriel is known as the divine messenger, bearer of great announcements and revelations from God to humanity. Now let's look at some characteristics of Gabriel. Gabriel is primarily known for his role as the bearer of important messages from God. He appears at crucial moments to reveal the divine will. Gabriel is often associated with wisdom and clarity in communicating God's messages. His appearances are always linked to events of great importance, marking significant changes in biblical history. Appearances in the Bible. Daniel 8 verse 16. Gabriel is sent to explain the vision to Daniel. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Ulai, who called, and said, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. Daniel 9 verses 21 to 27. Gabriel appears to give Daniel understanding about the vision of the 70 weeks. Yes, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in a vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. And he informed me, and talked with me, and said, O Daniel, I have now come forth to give you skill to understand. Luke 1 verses 11 to 20. Gabriel appears to Zechariah in the temple, announcing the birth of John the Baptist. But the angel said to him, I am Gabriel, who stands in the presence of God, and was sent to speak to you and bring you these glad tidings. Luke 1 verses 26 to 38. Gabriel visits Mary to announce that she would be the mother of Jesus. Now in the 6th month the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one, the Lord is with you, blessed are you among women." Theological assumptions. Gabriel is often seen as the bearer of good news, bringing messages of hope and salvation. His appearance to Mary is one of the most celebrated, marking a significant moment in the Christian narrative of the incarnation of Christ. The seraphim, angels of high order. One of their most beautiful functions is to continually praise and worship God. The seraphim are described in the Bible as having 6 wings. With 2 wings they cover their faces, with 2 they cover their feet, and with 2 they fly. They are constantly in worship of God, proclaiming, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, the whole earth is full of his glory." Seraphim are beings of pure love and light, representing God's glory and holiness. Their presence emphasizes purity and reverence in divine worship. Isaiah 6 verses 1 to 7. This is the most detailed passage about the seraphim in the Bible. The prophet Isaiah had a vision of the Lord seated on a high and exalted throne, and the seraphim stood above him. Isaiah 6 verses 2 to 3, above it stood seraphim, each one had 6 wings, with 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one cried to another and said, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, the whole earth is full of his glory." One of the seraphim flew to Isaiah with a live coal taken from the altar with tongs and touched his lips to purify him from his sins, preparing him for his prophetic mission. Praise and worship. The primary function of the seraphim is to worship God incessantly, emphasizing his holiness and majesty. They lead the heavenly choir in worshiping God, continually proclaiming his holiness and glory. The seraph's action of purifying Isaiah with a coal from the altar symbolizes the spiritual purification needed to be in God's presence and serve him. Seraphim are also seen as guardians of God's holiness. They are so close to God's throne that they serve as a constant reminder of divine holiness and the need for purity. Examples of interventions and miracles. Purification of Isaiah. The live coal that purified Isaiah is a powerful example of the seraphim's intervention, symbolizing the purification needed to serve God. Prophetic inspiration. The vision of the seraphim inspired Isaiah and prepared him for his prophetic mission, showing how these angels act to strengthen and purify those called by God. Symbols of worship. The seraphim are seen as the highest examples of worship and praise to God. They inspire believers to worship God with a pure and reverent heart. They represent the purity and holiness that the faithful should aspire to in order to be in God's presence. As guardians of God's throne, the seraphim emphasize the importance of recognizing God's glory and holiness in all forms of worship. Seraphim are high-order angels who play a crucial role in heavenly worship and spiritual purification. Their incessant worship of God, proclaiming his holiness, and their acts of purification, as seen in Isaiah's vision, highlight their importance in Christian tradition. They serve as models of perfect worship and purity, inspiring the faithful to seek a life of holiness and total devotion to God. Guardians of God's holiness, high-order angels. The cherubim. With an imposing appearance, the cherubim are described as having multiple faces, man, lion, ox, and eagle, and wings that cover their bodies, symbolizing their vigilance, strength, and wisdom. They are known for guarding the entrance to the Garden of Eden after Adam and Eve's expulsion, wielding flaming swords to protect the way to the tree of life. In prophetic visions, the cherubim are often seen carrying the throne of God, representing his presence and majesty. In Ezekiel, they are described as being covered with eyes all over their bodies, including wings and wheels associated with them, symbolizing omniscience and constant vigilance. Genesis 3 verse 24. Guardians of Eden. After the fall of Adam and Eve, cherubim were placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden, with a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. So he drove out the man, and he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to guard the way to the tree of life. Exodus 25 verses 18 to 22. Ark of the Covenant. God instructed Moses to make 2 cherubim of gold for the cover of the Ark of the Covenant, with their wings spread upward, covering the mercy seat. This was the place where God would meet with Moses. You shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of hammered work you shall make them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Ezekiel 1 verses 4 to 28. Vision of the cherubim. Ezekiel had a vision of the cherubim as impressive beings with 4 faces and wings, accompanying God's movable throne. Each one had 4 faces, and each one had 4 wings. Their wings touched one another. The creatures did not turn when they went, but each one went straight forward. Ezekiel 10 verses 1 to 22. The glory of God. Ezekiel again sees the cherubim in a vision, where they carry God's glory out of the temple in Jerusalem. Then I looked, and there in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubim, there appeared something like a sapphire stone, having the appearance of the likeness of a throne. Examples of interventions and miracles. Protection of the Garden of Eden. The first known intervention of the cherubim was to guard the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword, symbolizing the inviolability of the sacred space after man's fall. Presence in the Ark of the Covenant. The cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant represented God's constant presence among the Israelites, being a meeting point between God and Moses. Like this video, and subscribe to this channel, for more content like this.